Too many tanks on the ground. Too many tanks. Too many tanks on the ground.
Y'all ain't war machine.
Too many tanks. Too many.
I can tell that you wanna see me losing control, at the same time losing my soul. Tryna move on the low, but you still can't escape from the view on the scope. If you move, you will go. When the tank's on the ground, better move out the road. Gotta flow like a hookah lounge, who won't smoke? If you choose to provoke, I might loosen the rope enough not to leave a bruise on your throat. The movement's strong, strong enough to make a bunch of grown men spray hatred like cologne. We got too much out here going on in the path you traveling, Rocky Sylvester Stallone. But you and I leave it alone. Michael B. Jordan trying to get a creed of your own. Just leave me alone. How you gonna talk like a boss? You don't even own the keys to your home. You don't wanna see me in the zone. Blood of a king in my veins, I belong on the throne with a queen of my own. Infatuated by the muscle tone of my body, love squeezing my arm. If we in the war with the other side, why you not taking shots at the other guy? Let me summarize, you advertise black on black crime and antagonize. When I analyze it with my higher mind, I miss my Virgo nature with the fire sign. I can see it clearly through my third eye, point of view higher than the birds fly. No code of honor like the samurai, they just target practice for me bullseye. You a clout chaser working full time and your paradigm is a narrow mind. All the angels in heaven listen when I'm sharing mine. I'm giving back to the culture, I'm in the back of the Rover. Why you at home with your back on the sofa? I'm having a moment, your childish behavior, I'm sorry, I cannot condone it. The double-edged sword that I'm swinging, sharp enough to cut your bones through your garment. Rock Nation signed a deal with the NFL recently, that's a bonus. And I just wanna know what percentage you getting paid off for your performance. Hold up, Jay-Z, he don't even know you. Trademark name who belong to. 6-figure check, no consul. Come to a point where you can't undo what you misconstrue. Every day you attack Jesus, animated like Black Jesus. For that reason, he's still undefeated like Gorilla Hebrew from last season. The war machine running circles around our competition like track season. It's hard for you to be a stand-up guy, cause in the spirit world, your back leaning. I'm sick with it, got me throwing up. PowerPoint ready, they ain't showing up. No information, just inflammation. Amazon book sales going up. But I wouldn't buy it, even if I was on a diet and had a little money on the side. I wouldn't try it, even if my life was on the line and they pointing at my body with the 9. Why should I tell them a whole bunch of lies just for them to join my side? El Shaddai, all praise to the Most High. If the Spirit walking with me, I'm fine. You cannot make a decision. I can see that you afraid of the system. I can tell you have no faith in your vision. You rather sit back and hate on religion. I bet you won't walk in the government building and tell them that you want an interview. Tell them that your name is Nimrod and you demand justice and call them a criminal. Burn up their literature right there in front of them. I guarantee you gon' make the news. At least you be finally famous. Look at the camera like, mama, I made it. Have you ever stood in front of the very personification of hatred? I have on many occasions. The devil got multiple faces. Look at the swing of the pendulum. Look at the shape of the pentagon. I walk in the power of Pentecost. I show up and mess with your pentagram. Tanks on the ground, man.
Too many tanks on the ground. Too many.
But I choose to walk in the spirit is difficult, dealing with all of the ignorance. But in the Bible, and still talking about the Bible, what is the benefit? Everything about you counterfeit, there ain't no rebuttal you can counter with. On the internet, you the master teacher, in real life, you powerless. Keep it real with you, I don't have time for this, I ride for this, my forefathers died for this. They cry for this opportunity, presently I possess it, right now you are the opposite. If you walk in love, you fulfill the law, don't get involved and you ain't giving it all. If you ever think it's cool to threaten another man's family, then you already lost. Chemtrails got aluminum, heavy metal saturate the atmosphere. Manhattan Project, time travel, Mandela effect, what happened here? GMO food processing to the whole world become obsolete. A black man who believe in Jesus, got my own team taking shots at me. You trespassing on property that you don't fully understand properly. All the back and forth, that's not for me, that's for ROC and the war machine. If we ride together, then we ride together. If we can't do it, I'd rather leave. I still stand on the word of God till the day I die and no longer breathe. We trapped inside the diaspora, nightmares of the massacre. Cold sweat, I'm below deck in the middle passage, just a passenger. Revolutionary hardcore, liberation, that's a hard job. You ain't ready, you a oddball, keep your mouth closed like lockjaw. I learned trying to bring people together on the same page, make them separate. All the talk about reconciliation, when the time come, you hesitate. If Jesus was able to sit at the table with a bunch of sinners, you very fake. Your steps ordered by the Lord, and how it was yesterday, your big mistake. We the city sitting on the hill. Guess it all depends on how you live. Guess it all depends on how you feel, and we both know that ain't God's will. I stood on what I felt was right, I don't never question if God's real. Trapped inside this matrix, I'm about to pop the red and the blue pill.
Bless them which persecute you, bless and curse not. Rejoice with them that do rejoice, and weep with them that weep. Be of the same mind one toward another. Mind not high things, but condescend to men of low estate. Be not wise in your own conceits. recompense to no man evil for evil. Provide things honest in the sight of all men. If it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, said the Lord. Therefore, if thine enemy hunger, feed him. If he thirst, give him drink. For in so doing thou shalt heap coals of fire on his head. Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good. Romans 12:14-21.
Brand disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed by individuals on this platform, the callers plus invited guests, are their own. The information you hear does not reflect the overall views of all parties associated with this brand. We encourage everyone to research all things heard live or via archive for edification purposes. Discretion is advised.
Don't touch that dial. You're now listening to Debate Talk for You Radio.
Help keep the show on the air. If you want to help, you can send your donation through PayPal. The email is debatetalkforyou@gmail.com or through Cash App, $Sal Showtime. Thanks for your support.
Peace. What it is Brother Tavon Swino, a.k.a. the Orthodox Moore, a.k.a. the Seven Pillar Saracen, a.k.a. Brother Moore. Wishing you all peace and blessings. Let me get this thing properly fitted and suited right quick. Let me get the proper joint in this piece. Yeah. I got the background in there. How y'all doing this evening, fam? So, y'all see the title. There's a bunch of shows going on reviewing the debate. My good brother Yarah, shout out to Yarah, and shout out to Sinetta for letting Yarah go on the debate. A whole bunch of people. He was just on there with brother Reggie. He's actually debated Sinetta on there before. Shout out to brother Sinetta for opening up his platform to Yarah to debate. But yeah, I was going to have Yarah come through and actually review the debate with me. But my good brother is having a birthday party for his son. So he has the best of reasons to reschedule such a situation. But I'm noticing that there's a couple of replays of the debate going on, and a lot of people don't know what actually happened and what the story was. So I'm going to give some background to the debate. How the topic and title came up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Some little shenanigans in the background. But me, myself, and I, being that my brother's not here, I'm not going to comment on the debate without him being here, whatnot. But what I am going to do is comment on a part of the debate that involves me a little bit, right? In the sense to where I help my brother out with the source and whatnot. We've talked behind the scenes about a few things and whatnot. So a source becomes a part of the aspect of the debate. And so this bit about getting cooked on this Wolof Israelite source is something I'm going to talk about in a little bit. What I'm going to do, family, is I'm going to play the debate, and I'm going to give my commentary after you see the debate and some calling stuff. So with that, family, let me play this out. I'm gonna mute myself, make this large, and play this whole thing for you, fam. This is a part 2. You can go check out Sinetta Studios and get part 1 if you want to watch the whole debate. I'm gonna cover part 1 when my good brother Yarah got time to do so. I believe we're gonna do so next week, and we're gonna try to also cover his debate with brother Reggie. But with that, family, let me go ahead and do this thing here.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Yeah, this shit is crazy, man. I had to reboot my whole damn computer. Rob Bond sent me something, a virus or something. What the fuck? Excuse me. All right, Yarah is here. 1 2. Can you hear me, Yarah?
I can hear you perfectly fine.
Okay, beautiful, man. Damn. I had to reboot my whole computer, man.
Man, yeah, I had to do that earlier.
Yeah. Oh, you got the link, Rabon. I sent the link. I had to reboot the whole damn computer.
Oh, wow.
You must have
right,
sent me something coming through or something, man.
Nah, I ain't send you anything. All right, let me go look at it again.
All right, let's get it. Let's get it.
All right.
Still got his time saved. He got 2 minutes. I remember. Let me see. Let me get this thing right. 2 minutes and 18 seconds. Yep. 2 minutes and 18 seconds. This would just be a continuation. Come on in, Rob Bond. Let's get this thing going. Knocking off the momentum of this shit, man. Bond Dog is funny. Damn it, the Russians. Come on, Rob Bond, let's go.
Yeah, family. So if you watch the first part of the debate, you'll see that there was some technical difficulties. Sinet was having technical difficulties all day. He had to restart his computer. There was a couple of where they had to do like a couple part ones, part twos, and whatnot. So right now they're waiting for Rob Bourne to get on, and because again, like Sinet had to restart his whole computer, etc., whatnot. Again, just to be clear, I won't be commenting on the debate. I'm going to be commenting on a portion of information that gets brought up in the debate, because you're going to see to where if you watch part one and part two, you see to where and it'll make sense when I start explaining some things. One debate kind of turns into another debate, which tends to happen on a lot of debates. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm gonna let this play out, and like I said, they're waiting for Rob Warren to get on because there were some technical difficulties and people had to jump off and jump back on to restart computers and all kind of stuff. So this is part two of a full debate. So if you want to get the full context, go to part one. You'll see why people had to come back on. But with that, I'm gonna let this thing play out.
All right, Rob Bond. It's on you. You got 2 minutes and 18 seconds left.
All right.
Are you ready, brother?
Yeah, I'm about to share my screen. Share screen. Let's go to window. All righty.
All right, I see your screen. Are you ready?
Hold on.
2 minutes and 18 seconds left.
Boom, boom. I'm just gonna put an entire screen because this shit is nuts. All right. Let's go to inbox. Which one is this? This one. All right.
All right, I see it.
All right, so we good. So
time resumes. We starting.
All right. So the brother failed to show us the establishment of Black Hebrew Israelite doctrine in America. He then goes to talk about Africa. I don't know why he's talking about Africa. None of them hold those 11 tenets where you're mixing new age science with this. None of them is teaching any of that. You have no records of it. You didn't show it. It's not here. I don't know why you brought that up. But in any event, we want to look at, this is a presentation I did the first Africans to come to the Americas. So we want to look at something real quick here. So we're gonna just nip this in the bud real quick. Let's go down here. All right. So this is a primary from the Portuguese. It says agreement. It says the agreement prohibited the residence in the colony of individuals banished from the Spanish kingdoms and those who have been Jews or Moors reconciled. Not allowed here. 1501. Go down further here. When you look at the Americas, this is the first revolt that happens 1521, 1522, right? And they talk about it. It says an uprising that started by the blacks. Colin Sugar Estate, his black slaves, and not by all, had but by about 20 of them, and most of them the language of the Wolofs. Wolofs, yeah, not Hebrews. So I only brought this up to just say that one actual point there because it makes no sense. And then I tell people, get 1619 out of your mind, 1526, and they called them Negroes. That first revolt that happened here on that coast of Florida, they're not called Jews. They're not called any of that. They're not called these things. So, you know, that was all off topic. I'm only responding to his all over the place, sub-Saharan Africa and all these other different places. The goal here was to show one specific thing. And let's go back here again to show one specific thing. And he didn't do it. Didn't do it. And that goes. Hold up. I'm almost done here. Hold up. I just need 30 seconds. If the spinning death doesn't stop, then you can just go ahead because we have some technical issues here. The goal here.
Why aren't you the landlord? Yes, you. Why aren't you the landlord? Every day you go to
was to prove this is wrong. Your goal here is to show that this black theology, the belief or set of beliefs, especially political or religious ones that are taught and accepted by a particular group, you must show that. And this right here is it. Here's my 12 points. Magic, millennialism, Freemasonry. I showed all of these things. 70 AD. And I showed you the environment. He hasn't done that. He showed you people who identify with the book who are going to church. They have no organization teaching this theology at all. With that, I'm done.
All right. My brother, Elder Yarah, is on you. You got 10 minutes. The time will start when you're ready.
Yeah, I'm going to share my screen. Again, the brother keeps saying why I didn't show any origins or tenets of Black Hebrew Islam beginning in the Americas. That's because it never happened. You can't show something that didn't exist, brother. Those things, the reason why they began in Africa. Let me ask you something, Ramon.
You ready? Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah.
All right, time will start, brother.
Yeah, you can start. This is a rhetorical question, brother. Let me ask you something.
You know you're not sharing your screen yet.
Yeah, I got it. I'm going to share it in a second. Let me share it now. All of those things, those 11 or 12 tenets you brought up, that all those things, these people that you say started these 12 tenets, did they get them from the Bible, sir? Did they get them from the Hebrew Bible, sir? Did they get them from the Torah, sir? If they got these things from the Bible, the Torah, the Tanakh, then they didn't create it. They are not the originators of it. Do you understand that? The title is the debate of this debate is the beginnings, the origin of the Black Hebrew Israelite theology began in America. No, every tenet you put on screen, down to the feet washing, came from the Bible, came from the Torah. You can't give them credit for something they never did, for something they didn't do. They didn't create it, Rabon. Just because they practice it doesn't mean that they created it. And that's all you prove, is that they practice Israelite rituals. That's all you proved. How can you date something 1,000 years before these people's time and give them credit for it? That's called plagiarism, Rabon, and that's what you're doing. But let me share my screen. You said something about the Wolof speaking people. You said these are not Hebrews, are not connected to Hebrews. You said something of that nature, right? In Senegalese Bush, the B'nai Israel tribes claim Jewish heritage. Why are you saying the Wolof people? Are these not the Wolof speaking people? Why are you saying they have no connection to them, bro? Let's hear what they say. The tree is holy ground, says Khadijah, president of the remote settlement of 4,000 souls. Our Jewish ancestor, Jacob, planted it when his people first settled here 1,000 years ago. That's his history. The lush kapar tree towers over the parched shrubbery at the edge of dusty community in eastern Senegal near the border with Mali. The residents, all Muslims, are members of a tribe whose name means sons of Israel. And they trace their lineage of two clans, the Sila and the Drame. They say they are descended from Egyptian Jews. We are all practicing Muslims and we don't want to become Jewish. Frederick says, in fact, we don't like to talk too much about our Jewish background, but we don't hide it either. We know our people came from Egypt to Somalia and from there to Nigeria, and we split 1,000 years ago. One branch of the two families went to Mali and the other to Guinea, and we settled there. Do you understand that? So this is what we're saying, brother. Like, you didn't prove, it didn't show the fact that these things originated in the Americas simply because they practiced them. And just because these people claim to be America, these slaves said they're Africans. I'm sorry, that they're Africans. What tribe of Africans did they say? So a lot of what you're saying is only conjecture. Let me show you something else. The Lost Tribes, a myth suggestion towards rewriting Hebrew history, January 1, 1930. Let me read to you what it says. It says, Israelites among American Negroes. Dr. Allen H. Godby postulates the position that Black Jews were on the west coast and African coast from Senegal to Angola, and they, the Central Sudan, by Muslim propagandism, having a knowledge of the Black Jews in the United States. Let me put that down. Godby arrived at this conclusion. These facts have peculiar significance when the presence of Judaism among American Negroes is to be considered. So they had an understanding of Judaism, of Negroes, Negro slaves in America practicing Judaism that weren't converts. He didn't call them converts. Hundreds of thousands of slaves were brought to the Americas from Western Africa during the days of the traffic. The transatlantic slave trade is what he's talking about. Beginning nearly 400 years ago, how much more of Judaism survived among West African Negroes in that earlier time? It says, as persecuted communities, they were rather more in danger than in other Negroes of being raided by war parties and sold as slaves. It may be considered certain that many partially Judaized Negroes were among the slaves brought to America from the book, The Lost Tribes of Myth. So your whole premise is dead when you talk about whether or not these people were in the Americas, whether or not they were practicing Judaism. If they weren't practicing Judaism,
why aren't you the landlord? Yes, you. Why aren't you the landlord? Every day you go to and from work and you look up and you see apartment buildings, self-storage facilities, office buildings, shopping centers. And I bet at times what's going through your mind is, what would it be like if I owned that commercial property? What would the cash flow be? How could it speed up my retirement?
Judaism, or even speaking the language, then why would even George Washington call some of his black slaves Jews? You're arguing over the tenets that someone didn't create. I'm addressing everything you said. William Crowdy got everything that you say he practiced or came up with. He got it from the Bible, from the Torah that existed well before his time. So how can he be the originator of it? That's just like me going out and saying, I'm the great MC. 1, 2, 3. I can say it, but that doesn't make me the originator of it, does it, Sonetta? And that's all Rabon showed tonight. Is those 12 tenets and practices, feet washing. That's in the Torah, that's in the New Testament. Everything he showed in those 12 tenets came from the Bible, well before William Crowdy existed. Well before that. So your argument on all points is moot. That's all the legs your table stood on. He's looking for people in the Americas to call themselves Israelites or call themselves Benjamites. Or he's looking for people at during pre-colonial times to come in and build them a specific synagogue. We have evidences of people who were writing in a mesh of Arabic and Hebrew writing written on church pews in Savannah, Georgia during the time of slavery. So we know that people were practicing, they're still practicing their culture. So all of these things that you're postulating, they fail on the simple fact that you claim these guys, Frank Cherry, William Crowdy, and Christian created. They were the first to do it in the Americas. That's false. That's false. Everything else you said tonight is gish gallop. It means nothing. It has
2 minutes
to do with the topic of this debate. And the topic of this debate was, did they create it? Did the origins begin in the United States? And the answer is no. That's why I brought up Ethiopianism. That's why I brought up Africa, because you see those things happening in those areas before they get to the United States. And how we know they got to the United States is through the African slave, the transatlantic slave trade. How else would George Washington know that these people were Jews? How else will God know that these people were practicing Judaism in America? How else would he know that? A lot of gish gallop and no substantiating information. I addressed every point you had. The very fact that it didn't originate there, that those tenets originated in the Bible thousands of years before Crowdy existed, thousands of years before Black Hebrew Israelite movement in quote unquote in the Americas, which doesn't exist anyway. There's no such thing. So anything before that happened, like, you can't subscribe. You can't ascribe the beginnings. You can't give them credit for something that they didn't create. That's it. That you can't do it anywhere. Simply saying, oh, because they practiced it here, they must be the first ones to have done it. We already showed you that's not the case. We already showed you that's not the case. So again, his whole
all right, you can take an extra 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Yeah, so his whole premise is faulty to the degree, again, when we start talking about whether or not that that William Crowley, because this is what he's basing his whole argument on, whether or not he actually found it. What is the definition of origin? What is the definition of origin? It's the point or place where something begins, arises, or is derived. None of what William Crowley taught, if you want to talk about magic, there's no magic that began in the United States. All of that stuff was imported. This is a mixed culture of people. Nothing began here.
All right, Rob Bond, come on in the room. Enter the room, my brother.
Yeah, man.
Okay, you have a
I just have a couple questions.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
You have a question to bring to Elder Yarah. Yarah, you have to answer the question, and Rabon, you have to allow him a minute to answer the question without interruption. So if you ask him a question, he has a minute. Did I do the minute or 2 minutes before? I did a minute. Do y'all remember, family? Remember when I was doing that? Did I do 2 minutes or a minute?
It was a minute.
Okay, you got a minute to answer him, Yarah, without no interruptions, Rabon, and vice versa with Elder Yarah. So, Rabon, it's on you. The time will start when you finish your question.
All right, brother. You keep saying that the founders of the Black Doctrine, the codified doctrine that I showed, got it from some ancient Bible thing. My question is, where did Frank Cherry, William Christian, and Saudi Crowley say they found out that they were Israelites and black people are Israelites? Where did they say they got it from?
You understand, Yarah?
Yes, they said they got it from Yahweh.
Time start.
They said they got it from God.
So they got a revelation from God.
Yes.
Okay, so that's clear that starts with those three people because God came to talk to them and told them.
Why aren't you the landlord? Yes, you. Why aren't you the landlord? Every day you go to and from work and you look up and you see apartment buildings, self-storage facilities.
Them that we are the Black Hebrew Israelites to make this new doctrine. So that's cool. Second,
do I get a chance to respond?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, they got it from God, but they got it from the God of the Bible, which they would have no knowledge of had they not read the Bible or Torah. They didn't say they came up with the concept of the revelation of God. The only way that they would have ascribed these things and be able to understand these things is if they had knowledge of the Torah, the Bible, or the Tanakh. This is where they garnered these things from. Every theme you see, every sermon they preach comes along with a scripture reference that they gave every time. That's the only way that people would have even followed them or even considered them to be a prophet. They call themselves prophets. That is how it happened in the scripture. That is where they took those tenets from. They didn't create God. They didn't create an understanding of the Bible. That's my time.
Okay, Rabon. Elder Yarah, it's your chance to ask Rabon a question. Rabon, you got a minute to answer it without interruption. Go ahead, Yarah.
Yeah. Rabon, do you postulate that there were no black Jews in the Americas during the time of slavery?
No.
So you agree that there were black Jews in the Americas during the time of slavery?
I showed them when I was talking. Yes.
Okay. So if you showed them while you were talking, you agree that they were here in the United States during the time of slavery, Black Jews. Do you have any evidence at all that they weren't practicing Judaism in any form?
You got a minute to answer, Rabon. It's on you.
What I showed was those Black Jews were slaves to Jewish masters, and they were practicing Judaism.
So if they were they Black Jews?
Yes, they were slaves to Jewish people.
What time did this happen? What time were these Black
This was
Jews?
in
You got to give him a minute. Let him answer it, Yarah.
Okay.
That's in the 1800s, brother. I put the slides up. I gave you.
You said what time period was that?
In the 1800s. They were slaves to Jewish people, and they were practicing the faith.
Was that before William Crowdy?
Was that before William Crowdy? One of them, I believe, was. Yes. Yes.
So then how are you attributing those practices of Black Judaism to William Crowdy if he wasn't the first to do it?
Because they were going to the European synagogue and not teaching that Black people are the Israelites. They were practicing the faith of Judaism that they learned from their master.
Okay. So does in 1800, when Gabriel Prosser claims to be an Israelite, did he get that from a white synagogue?
He got it from the Bible.
And he got it from the Bible.
Right, right. And then you go back to who gave it.
When was the Bible written, sir?
Where?
When?
I don't know. I don't have a date for when the Bible was written. I know that.
Give me one.
I know that Black people in America who got this term of their Bible or their scriptures came from the masters. That's how you got it. You were not allowed to practice your faith. You were not allowed to practice. There's no voodoo church. There's no Yoruba church. So they were reading, and he took that and used it to do what he wanted to do, like many did. Like Harriet Tubman called herself Moses, and how we called wherever we went the Promised Land. That was us internalizing. That's not a problem.
Okay.
All right, time.
One more question. If they weren't allowed to practice their faith, as you just said, how can you show and prove that they weren't allowed to practice Judaism? Jews coming from the west coast of Africa.
The Jews that I showed, the Black people were allowed.
I didn't ask you about the ones you showed. I'm saying Black Jews that we know, because there are more Black Jews than the ones you just showed.
I mean that was your time to show them, and you didn't.
So what you mean that was my time to show them? I asked you directly. I'm not talking about what I showed and what you showed.
Okay. Do you want?
You said that there were Black Jews that were in the west coast of Africa.
No, I didn't say anything about
the
No, brother. Listen very closely to what I'm saying. I showed the common denominator is those people who practice Judaism, not that mixed Christianity that I showed you with his Black Hebrew Israelite theology. Judaism, they learned it from their master, and they were able, and you have one that was able to actually go in that synagogue. And that's just in North America on the United
So when I just showed you the source of Alan Gabi stating that I showed you that there were Black Jews taken from the west coast of Africa and being called Jews in the Americas during the time of slavery, what's your pushback on that? Because he doesn't agree with what you just stated.
Brother, the name of this debate was to show the Black people teaching said doctrine. You gave me something that is speculation and hypothesis. You were the one that was supposed to show us these Black people in America, because the times you're showing, like 1808 with the Ethiopians coming over here to make the Apostolic church that worked with the brothers over there, they were making their own things. There was nothing stopping them from making any Jew or whatever.
You just said white slave masters wouldn't allow them to practice it. So how now you double talking?
No, brother. I said they didn't allow.
The title, first of all, the title of this debate.
Don't I have a minute?
Time.
The title of this debate.
Do I have a minute?
Hold on. Let him answer the question, Yarah. He got a minute to answer.
Okay, he got a minute. Okay.
Go ahead,
brother. Those people were converted, and there was an individual that I pulled up that he was allowed to go there. All of the other people that had those specific faiths that I showed are those people. They learned it from their master. The name of the debate is Black Hebrew Doctrine. That doctrine is Pentecostal holiness Christianity mixed with Judaism, not that pure Judaism.
One of the most common combos that people do when they're taking Testrel X is that they start stacking it with red.
I'm done now. Is it time for my next question?
All right. Rabon, it is your turn to ask Yarah a question. He got a minute to answer.
Can you give us people for the people that I showed that had a codified doctrine teaching it?
What?
I didn't get that either, brother.
Can you give us people who are teaching that we are the Black Hebrew Israelites, that we came over here 70 AD, and all of the aspects that make these things up prior to those people that I showed? Codified
Absolutely.
doctrine.
Yeah. There's no one people that codified that. What you're saying codified it, you're saying tenets. What you're saying is, all you're saying is that these people took from here and took from there. They didn't create any of that, Robon. They took from this and they took from that. That's not creating it.
Let him answer, Rabon. He got a minute. He got a minute.
Go ahead, my bad.
Hold on, Rabon. They didn't create feet washing. They didn't create prophecy. They didn't create that they were children of Israel. They didn't create that they were Black Jews. I showed you all of that. All of that stuff was being done in Ethiopianism well before William Crowdy began, and it was codified. Let me show you that if I got time. Let me show you Ethiopianism.
You got 16 seconds.
Let me see if I can get it real quick. I might not can do it in time.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
you could open up the phone, man. Because
this is like going here we're gonna do. All right, we are at this stage now. We're gonna open up the phone lines. I just want y'all to ask your question. And the same thing, you got a minute to answer the question, y'all. Ask the brothers your question. Show some love to Sarnetta's chat. Hey, I want to thank you, my brother Jay Quill. Shout out to Jay Quill. If y'all don't know who Jay Quill is, man, go subscribe to that brother. He puts a lot of good work.
Everybody hit the Cash App or we ending the live.
Yes, let's go. Stop playing. I wish you would have said that at the beginning.
My bad, bro. My bad.
Yeah.
I was focusing on what he was saying.
All right. Peace and Black Power family. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Black Jesus Minister.
What's going on, Black Jesus? Remember, ask the question, brother.
Oh my God, this debate was over, and Brother Yarah, another masterful win. But Brother Rabon, don't you agree that you just killed yourself there, brother, when you brought up the Wolof Jews?
What is your question, bro?
I'm getting my question, brother. Just listen. Do you agree that you killed yourself there, brother, when you mentioned the Wolof Africans and all you did to trickify the people was to call them Africans, and then when Yarah brought up that they were Jews, brother, don't you think you just killed yourself and you lost this debate there, brother, by bringing up the Wolof Africans who were Jews and agreeing with Yarah that other Jewish West Coast Africans came here to the Americas, brother? Did you lose this debate based on that?
The name of the debate is The Origin of the Black Hebrew Doctrine, and no, I showed that. What he's talking about is completely off topic. Next question.
All right, that question goes to Yarah too.
Absolutely. Him saying that the Wolof speaking Senegalese people were not Jews, they've had an established history, their own history, and it's mighty funny when it comes to us as Christians and Hebrews, when we're teaching, bringing this information, that when we say we have record of what these people are saying, they completely dismiss it. But then when they bring something out and say, "Well, you guys are completely dismissing their oral traditions and histories," Well, you can't dismiss their oral traditions and histories, Rabon. These people say that they are Jews. Accept it, not by conversion, that they are Jews. People of Africa can't be dumb and stupid when you feel like it, when it fits your confirmation bias. They know who they are. They say we choose to be practicing Muslims. We know who our ancestors are. Respect that. You don't respect Africa. You really don't.
All right, moving on. Next question. All right, let's get it in, y'all. Let's get these callers in. This is the time to call in right now, y'all. Let's go. Let's go. Y'all can say something. Rabon, you want to say something to that?
Nah, man. I'm not here to argue about.
All right.
Can't argue with that. That's a fact.
Yeah, whatever, bro.
All right. Peace and Black Power family. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is always Class Media calling from New York City.
All right. What's your question, brother?
Well, first of all, great debate tonight. My question is, are there any birth records of these individuals that list their religion? Practice?
Go ahead. Anybody want to answer that?
I'll take that. I showed in this presentation in my slide where George Washington clearly separated his Jews by race, Asiatics, Africans, and by Muslim and by Arabic. And so he clearly talks about his workforce or his Jewish slaves as being Jews. And that's how he saw his people. So it would behoove us, it would be less than intellectually dishonest to say that he wouldn't have seen the children born to his Jewish slaves as Jews. Now, during slavery times, that's always muddy waters. We know they always change the ages. We really can't count on a lot of that stuff, especially when it comes to age. But we do have people who were born, and clearly George Washington himself in the 1700s, 1784, clearly says, I have Jewish slaves.
All right. Rabon, you want to respond?
Nah, I'm good.
Okay, thank you, brother.
One of the most common combos that people do when they're taking Testro X is that they start stacking it with redwood.
Appreciate the call.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
All right. Peace and Black Power. What's your name? Where you calling from?
What up, Saul? This is Queen Chris Harris.
All right. What's going on, Chris?
What's going on? Hey, real quick, I want to ask Yarah a question. I know he mentioned the Wolof people, and in fact, he said that they were Jews. My question would be to him. I got two questions for him, and I just want to see if he can answer these, and maybe he can enlighten me on something here. Can he show me an original Hebrew Torah that the Wolof people used, 14th century CE? Okay, so they don't have one.
They use the oral tradition.
Okay, can you show me them worshiping Yahweh? Hold on, I'm not done. Can you show me them worshiping Yahweh in their temple?
In their temple?
Yeah, do they have a temple?
Yeah, a temple does not actually make it. That question is no, not a temple in synagogue, because they were not Masonaries. They didn't use that particular practice. You can study their culture right now. They're not Masonaries. But huts and tribal tents and different things like that, we can see where they have a concept of the holies of holies. We can actually talk about that. They call themselves the children of Israel, although they practice Arabic and Muslim traditions, which is what I showed in this presentation. So no, you wouldn't see evidence of that, but they clearly said, as I just stated before, their oral tradition is that they are descendants of Jews from Egypt. So I can give you the source.
Okay, cool. Now you just mentioned the fact that that you have stated. I'm sorry, you said that we rely on their oral tradition, and you said their oral tradition consists of what?
Their oral traditions. Excuse me.
You said their oral traditions. They have an oral tradition. Yes. What is the Wolof oral tradition? The things that you're just throwing that around.
No, they're all. I read it. I show it in here. I'll show it again. Let me see if I can pull up and share my screen so you can read it. I don't mind doing that for you.
No, I would need you to show me. I would, in order for me to trust you on your source, I would need you to give me a primary, not an Arab or somebody else saying that they're Jews.
No.
I need you to show me themselves calling them that.
No, I'm telling you exactly what the people are saying themselves. And this is, I just said this to
Okay, is this source going to show that?
Hold on, I'll give it to you, and you can, hold on, you can do what you will with it. Hold on. Let me share my screen, Sonetta, really quick, just to answer his question. He can do with it what he will. He can dig into it.
Screen is sharing.
Yeah, but this is the source that I read from. Right. The Jewish Telegraphic Agency, and they quote from the Senegalese themselves, and this is what they say. It says,
wait a minute, you're reading a quote, right? Is that what you're telling me? You're reading a quote?
What they're saying, what the Senegalese people are saying. Right?
Okay, but you said you read a quote from the what's the name of the source right here?
People are quoting, yes. They're saying our Jewish ancestor, Jacob, planted it when his people first settled here 1,000 years ago. It's also,
I can't see your source.
It says shrubbery at the edge of B'nai Israel, a dusty community in eastern Senegal near the border with Mali. The residents, all Muslims, are members of a tribe whose name means sons of Israel, and that they trace their lineage to two clans, Sila and Dremeh. They say they are descended from Egyptian Jews. If you're watching the screen, you can go back and you can fact check it. It's from the Jewish Telegraphic Agency. Go back and read what they're saying. I can provide you for some more sources at a later date. We can go into it. I have more in my presentation.
Wait a minute, Yarah. Wait a minute, real quick, Yarah. I asked you for a primary, and you gave me the Jewish Telegraphic Agency. This is somebody else speaking on.
Again,
hold up, Yarah, hold on. Let him.
Now here I will give some comments. So this is hilarious to me because this is a direct quote from the man in the picture. This is a direct quote from the man in the picture. This is a primary resource. This is primary documentation. You have a photo of the man plus his direct quote. So this is a primary document. This is a primary source fit.
Let him ask the question.
Okay, I didn't hear him.
Okay, I asked you for a primary, and you gave me a Jewish Telegraphic Agency. The thing, and I'm gonna let you go because I don't want to browbeat you. All right, make it seem like I'm browbeating you here.
Well, you can't
browbeat. The thing that always feels me.
Are you saying what these people?
Hold on, Elder Yarah. You got to let him finish.
No, wait.
He's trying to ask the question so you can understand.
I heard his question. Is he saying that?
No, I'm not finished answering. I have to finish this.
Are you saying?
Let me answer my question.
Hold on. Are you?
I have to ask my question.
Listen, are you postulating?
I would like to answer my question.
I'm going to answer it now.
All right, hold on, Chris. Let him ask it, then you can ask him when he finishes.
Are you saying that what these people are postulating, that they're claiming to be from the sons of Israel, are you saying that information that their oral tradition?
All right, now, Yarah, hold on. He's asking the question, Yarah.
Yeah,
that's what this is. This is the call in. No, you asked him a question just now. He's asking the question.
Is he saying that they're?
I'm gonna get this off.
Okay, there you go. Go ahead, Chris.
All right, cool. Now I pulled the same site that you went to, and it's called the Jewish Telegraphic Agency. You are correct. It's state 1917. And it says in Senegalese bush, B'nai Israel tribe claims Jewish heritage. I want to read this for a minute. It says, B'nai Israel in Senegal. It says, he will welcome you into his earthen home, introduce you to his 3 wives, and let you sample their cooking. but do a Gutigo Fadiga does not want foreigners to come near the sacred tree of his village deep in the Senegalese bush. The tree is holy ground, says Fadiga, all right, president of this remote settlement of 4,000 souls. Our Jewish ancestor Jacob planted it when his people first settled there 1,000 years ago. Hard to believe. But this is what
One of the most common combos that people do when they're taking Testrel X is that they start stacking it with redwood.
I want to read to you here. It says, the lush cat-pop tree towers over the park shrubbery at the age of Benai Israel, a dusty community in eastern Senegal near the border of Mali. But the residents, all Muslims, are members of a tribe whose name means sons of Israel. And they trace their lineage to two clans. All right, so the thing I always find funny about these oral traditions is they never say if they were Judah, Levi, Dan, Naphtali. They always say Jewish. But the thing that we can go through history and see is that some Spanish Jews went through Africa creating colonies for trade, setting up centers for trade, also trading slaves. Now, when they would do that, they would take the African woman, have sex with them, and have children. This is in the book by Edith Bruder. This is what's said by Tudor Prophet. And this is as early as the 14th century CE. So if you got 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, you got 400 years of Africans, no Torah, HOK family, no Torah, no Yahweh worship, nowhere. We got 400 years of them claiming to be Jews. This is how oral tradition can develop amongst a group of Africans.
All right, you got to ask your question now.
He asked his question already.
So, all right, so if we can't find, if we can't find these traditions, if we can't find,
in that same article you just read, in that same article you just read, does it not say they came from Egyptian Jews? Yes or no?
Yeah, and right after it says right here, let me read it to you.
Hold on.
I'm going to read it to you what they said.
Hold on, Chris. If it says
hold on, I'm going to read it to you.
Are they saying they came from a direct lineage, not conversos, but Egyptian Jews? Were not the Elephantine
Jews. Okay, so what is an Egyptian Jew?
Were not the Elephantine Jews? Are you saying
what is an Egyptian Jew?
Because I'll pull you up a primary.
What is an Egyptian
right
Jew?
Now. I'll show you a primary.
What is an Egyptian Jew?
Where were the Elephantine Jews?
One more time. What is an Egyptian Jew, sir? I'm asking you a question. What is an Egyptian Jew? Okay, I'm gonna ask you again. What is an Egyptian Jew? Which tribe are they from?
We gotta move forward. We gotta move forward, brother. We gotta move forward.
Let me say this.
He's dead. He's dead. That's why he's yelling.
Let me say this. The Elephantine Jews were Egyptians.
Were placed there by the Persians.
When they
They were placed there by the Persians.
When they migrated out of Israel, he knows this. The Elephantine Jews migrated into Egypt during the time of Darius the First.
All right, Chris, we got to move on. Thank you, brother.
Okay,
Darius the First allowed them to build a temple in Egypt. Chris Harris knows this about the Elephantine Jews, and they were considered Egyptian Jews. We know that the first group of Egyptian Jews were from Alexandria in Egypt, Chris Harris. These people are saying they are direct lineage from those people, not conversos, not anybody of admixture. And see, this is the Gish Gallop and the conjecture that these people come on here being intellectually dishonest, HOK family, that they don't want you to do. But I'm here for you, Chris Harris. You can't run from me, bro. I know you. I know the games you play.
Oh, shit.
Now, he clearly saw.
Is this a call out, brother? Is this a call out?
Right now? He clearly read in that text where it says they descended from Egyptian Jews and completely ignored that to lie to the people. You shouldn't even let him back on his side, Netta.
All right. Peace and Black Power family. What's your name and where you calling from?
Yo, this is Sulan Rock from Memphis, Tennessee.
All right. What's on your mind, brother?
Peace, family.
Hey, Sarnetta, you mind if I ask you a question?
No questions for me, brother.
Okay. Okay, no questions for you.
Yeah,
okay. I'm
So if I'm lying, break down what source that Rob Bourne used to disprove the information that the Yarah was bringing out concerning the Wolof speaking people amongst the Senegalese called the B'nai Israel. Because he brought out a source talking about some Wolof oral traditions, right? And the Yarah hit him back and said, well, is that all the oral traditions? They got multiple oral traditions, which is true. Again, so this particular group named their subsect and clans that they come from. The Wolof aren't homogeneous, man. Hate to break it to you. They even got multiple haplogroups in their joint, fam. So if I'm lying and Rob Bourne did not get cooked on this particular source, again, I'm not commenting on the debate. I'm not even doing that. Matter of fact, I got another brother right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeshub's doing that right now on the source debate. Shout out to the source. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even commenting on the debate because Yarah is not here. You know what I'm saying? I was supposed to have Yarah come through, but like I said, his son's having a birthday party. We were gonna do this a whole another day. Today, Yarah was supposed to be going on earlier to set up a debate with Garfield, but this whole thing with Rob Bourne got thrown in his face yesterday as a smoke screen because they were trying to feel him out on some of his West African information, right? I literally told him to sit on some of it, right? Because I saw what they were trying to do. And so he took this title, which a lot of us told him not. Like we did, a good homie told him not to take the title. I told him not to do this whole thing. I told him to talk about some other stuff that day, right? Because I knew they were trying to feel him out. It would not, because every time he starts touching on some Islamic Israelite stuff, they start wilding out. They don't know what to do. They start wigging out, and so that's what happened here, Fib. Like so Freetown, a marketeer. Like if you got the info that disproves what Yarah saying, if you can show me where Rob Bourne brought out some info that disproves anything Yarah saying, bro, I'll put it up on the screen right now. I'll go through it right now. But what you're hearing is that you can hear like how my man Anas, you can hear a rat pissing on cotton right now when it comes to Rob Bourne. Rob Bourne don't want to deal with none of this info. And I'm gonna play a video of him talking about it today. He doesn't want to touch it for nada. Because it hurts, man. It hurts. And it's going to hurt even worse. And it's really going to hurt because Garfield, bruh. Fam. Everybody sees you, bruh. So Garfield was supposed to be setting up a debate in terms of, right? They were going to be debating a topic, something close to the concept of, did anybody come off the slave ships with a messianic belief or something of that nature, right? And so Garfield knew that I've had a whole presentation that I've been waiting to give that I was going to give with him, right? I wanted him to go through my information and fact check it and see what he thought about the whole thing, right? He kept pushing it off. Like he like we were supposed to do it for Black History Month. Now he wants to do it in March, right? And so he said he wanted to do it March 1st. And so he's supposed to be setting up this debate with Yarah. So now he's telling Yarah after this debate with Rob Bourne, after having seen Yarah bring out the Wolof stuff, he's telling Yarah, he's like, no, we should wait till like mid-March. I need some time. We should wait till mid-March. So what he wants to do is he wants to wait until after me and him are supposed to sit down so he could debate Yarah then. I want y'all to catch that. Garfield wants to wait until after me and him sit down so he can debate Yarah then. Fam, I'm not waiting no longer, fam. I'm gonna just start dropping the info. I've already started seeding some of the information. But if y'all gonna play games like this, like, all right, cool. I'm gonna drop it anyway. Because no matter what, like, so you're either gonna honestly sit down and go through the information, or you're gonna be dishonest about the whole thing, right? And today I saw y'all being dishonest about the thing, fam. And I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. While people are demanding primary documentation, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. But with that, family, I'm gonna let this keep playing. So real quick, Tyrone Gould asked the question. So the point of this conversation that I'm having is to talk about some information that came out in this debate. The point of the debate is the title of the debate, which kind of got chopped and screwed a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm gonna let my brother come on when he has time and actually comment on the debate himself and do some commentary, etc. I'm gonna comment on some information that came out in the debate that I gave my brother, whatnot. That these people are trying to duck, dodge, and weave behind. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to deal with the info at all because it hurts. And when you this is just surface information. When you scratch the surface and go a little bit deeper, it really hurts their concept. Because they have this concept of a homogeneous West Africa to where there was no Hebrew culture whatsoever, and nothing could be further from the truth. Nothing could be, and I'm going to show the bias in their research. I'm going to show the heavy bias in the research. They have a heavy Caribbean bias. They have a heavy South American bias, and they do not research the Americas or like North America. They don't research the American communities and whatnot, and the American oral traditions, etc. And I'm really going to shake that one out. But yeah, let me stop yapping and get back to this video right quick.
I'm gonna ask these brothers this.
Go ahead.
Both of y'all are Hebrews, right?
No, they both not Hebrews.
Yes, he is a Hebrew.
No, Rob Bourne, he's talking about, I think,
Rob
the
Bourne
debaters.
is a Hebrew. Every time I see Rob Bourne with that Allah and that 7, that's a Hebrew.
Oh shit.
He's
okay.
a nigga.
I'm just saying, like,
Hebrew brother.
So Rob Bourne, are you a Hebrew?
No,
He's a nigga brew.
Okay, do you do either one of you subscribe to the Bible?
Fam, did you watch the debate?
No, because the question really was for the question really was. Now listen. It really was for Sinetta, but I can't ask him. But I'm trying to ask y'all the
You
question.
can ask me the question. Go ahead, brother. Because I don't want.
Okay, Sinetta.
Yes.
All right, real quick. Okay, Sinetta, I watch you faithfully. I used to be a Christian. I've converted over to King because of the HOK. I'm a baby in this. I'm still learning. Okay, it was one debate that you had Apostle and Black Jesus on a debate. I think it might have been a conversation, but somebody brought up the fact that they were like using like profanity and like going real hard with their language, and they was like, this is a time of war. We don't get no time for being soft, and we can curse. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing that can happen to us because we are using foul language, but I came across a scripture in Ephesians 5, chapter 3, that they might need to hear, because if they don't follow this scripture, they won't inherit the kingdom of Christ and of God. And that scripture says, "But among you, there must not be even Ephesians chapter 5, verse 3, and they go all the way verse 5.
Go ahead.
But among you, I'm reading out the New King James Version. But among you, there must not be even a hint of sexual immorality or any kind of impurity or of greed, because these are improper for God's holy people. Nor should there be obscenity, foolish.
Why aren't you the landlord? Yes, you. Why aren't you the landlord? Every day you go to and from work.
This talk or coarse joking, which are out of place, but rather thanksgiving. For this you can be sure, no immoral, impure, greedy person, such a person as an idolater, has an inheritance of the kingdom of Christ and of God.
Okay.
So my point is this. The language that they use, this scripture right here alone is really condemning them, saying that they won't inherit the kingdom of Christ. I don't subscribe to the Bible at all, but I know that they do. So, and I heard Apostle one time say, he can say whatever he want to say. He can say all this foolish stuff. But I'm just letting him know, foolish talking and the feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Sonny, let me say something to that. Not no long drawn out answer, but my father used to say, and he still does say, sometimes we could be so heavily minded that we'll know earthly good. And so a lot of times when we we read these scriptures, and they should be held to a degree. But it also tells us that laughter does the heart like a medicine. It's good to laugh. It's not good to mock people and joke about people in that manner, but it's good to laugh. There's nothing wrong with telling a joke as long as it's not harmful or is meant to degrade or tear down. So a lot of times, we can be too so earthly mind,
Yes, go ahead. Finish up, Yarah. My bad.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. But I appreciate the brother.
Okay. Okay.
But I do want to say this though, Chris Harris, don't play with me, bro.
All right. Peace and Black Power family. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yes, good night, Nathan, everyone. From peace. My name is Philip, calling from Brooklyn, New York. I don't have a question for the panel, but I want to know, Senator, can I raise funds on your show? I really want to do like a matching fund, maybe for a certain amount. For every dollar that somebody contributes, I will match it until a certain amount.
Okay.
Okay. For them, I'll put up $300. If you can raise $300 from people on the show, I will match it dollar for dollar up to $300. If you can raise $300.
All right. Did y'all hear that? If whoever raised some money, he'll match it up, y'all. He'll match it. So that's what's up. I appreciate that.
Okay.
All right. Did y'all hear that? Whoever raised some money. All right. Thank you, my brother. We're going to move forward. Yes. All right, let's get these callers. Rob Bond, you got anything else you would like to say?
Yeah. I'm about to
Hold on. You about to check out?
No. I'm about to share something real quick. Go ahead.
All right, hold on. Peace and Black Power family. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Peace, is King Jay, calling Illinois.
All right, Jay. Go ahead and share it, brother Rob. What's your question, brother?
I'll wait for him to
You can start sharing
Okay.
it though. What's your question, brother?
My question is for the brother Yarah.
Yes.
Am I saying that right?
Yarah. Yarah.
Okay. Yarah. Peace. So my question is basically into something I heard you say earlier in regards to Esau. You made a statement saying that you are what your mother and father is. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So Abraham and Rachel, their ethnicity was both of them were saying were black.
You said Abraham and Rachel?
Is that the father Esau and Jacob?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Another question. The word Laban. Do you know what that word means in Hebrew? Laban, Laban, in the relationship with Rachel.
It means white. Is that what you're talking about?
It means white.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So my
Do you
question
know
would
the
be,
relationship that it's used for the term white though, because that's important.
so my question was, that was the case, why are they calling Laban white? The name for Laban be white. And then their relatives, you said Rachel is black, Abraham is black, but they had a white son.
Well, let me put it to you like this. What we see, right, scientifically, what we know from that time period, from that age and from that time, what you had was, and I want you to go study it. I honestly do.
I have.
They have what we call, the Bible calls it leprosy, right? But we call
I understand,
it,
King.
Hold on. The Bible calls it leprosy, but we call it albinism. Okay.
So can I cut your wisdom before you go deep into it?
Yeah, go ahead.
So ethnicity-wise, an albino child would still be a Negro.
Yes, absolutely.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay. So the ethnicity of Esau didn't change because even though if he was albino, he still would be black. Correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So how is he the progenitor of the white race as a black man?
I don't teach that.
Okay.
I agree with you.
But there is some. Okay.
Yeah, I agree with
Big
you.
facts. Big facts.
He's
Just
not
getting some.
white race, and I appreciate you bringing that out, because this is what I was getting to with Sarnetta, is because when I said it comes in all ethnicities, what we understand, the teaching of Esau, as some said, well, he's the white man, is only talking about. That's why Psalms 83 is such a powerful scripture to understand when it comes to Esau, because when it goes through, this person was in the tents of Esau, and this person was in this person's tents. If you go through those lists of tribes and people, those are a whole different group. Those people look completely different from each other.
You're ready to start your own business, to turn that passion into a paycheck. All you need is a partner you can trust. Over the last 20 years,
right? If you're talking about phenotype, right?
Exactly.
So this is why I'm saying I don't teach that all white men are Esau, right? But I teach that Esau is a spirit that is confederate against Israel to destroy them. Because what did that confederacy do in Psalms 83? Wipe us out so that our name would be no more. And we see that throughout history, throughout time. This is why Deuteronomy 28 is important, because it's not a one-time thing. This is something that continues to happen throughout history. We see this recorded in slavery. The ancient Egyptians, especially during the time of the Exodus, when the children of Israel left, they have a thing, in what the Greeks termed it Adamo damnatia. In other words, they would erase the names of people from the historical record. If they
Question, Chief, because I'm building. I'm listening to you, Chief. I'm building on what you're saying in regards to that, because Moses was a leper at one point, correct? So would Moses have that same spirit that you're claiming Esau had?
Exactly. This is what happens, right? Moses, and I brought this out to Sarnetta too. The eating of the swine, we know this in historical records, the eating of the swine, the reason why it was taught not to eat it, because we have historical records from Josephus and Tacitus. They taught in Herodotus. They talk about the Israelites that were eating the swine, right? And because of the swine that they were eating, leprosy broke out among them, right? And so they were expelled from ancient Kemet, right? In some terms, they were expelled from ancient Kemet as lepers.
Pardon for 1 second, Yarah. Sarnetta.
Yeah.
Can you unblock Melvin Jefferson? He said that he can't. He said he can't get in the chat. Melvin Jefferson.
Yeah, Melvin.
Who is that though?
He's a good Team guy. Osiris.
Yeah, he's Team Osiris. He's a
Melvin probably been disrespectful or something.
Not Melvin. Anybody but Melvin.
Melvin is quiet.
Tell him he got to send me his email. I got to see who he is.
Okay.
And he's not an Israelite, and I vouch for the brother. Peace to you, brother Melvin.
Yeah, I can't get him unless I get his email. I need to know. I need to know his channel. He needs to send me his link to his channel.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Send it to Rob Bourne. Rob Bourne, you know his channel?
Not his channel.
Yeah, you need to send me his channel.
Melvin Jefferson. I think it's just his whole name, Melvin Jefferson.
Yeah, you send me his channel. We could get in there. But anyway, I'm glad Rob Bourne broke that up, because we got to get out of here, man. I got to go right now. And Rob Bourne, I'm gonna let you go ahead and get your last slide going there. Hey, Melvin, my email. I'm gonna throw my email in the chat, and send me a link to your channel. All right, brother.
All right.
Wealth of information, man.
You did. Let me know when you're ready to share the screen, Shaw.
Okay, my email is in the chat for your brother. All you got to do is let me know. Hit me with an email. Hit me, and then I'll bring it in.
So is he sharing? Is he sharing more?
Your screen is sharing, Rob.
Right. So we got the source up. So this is interesting. I wanted to keep the conversation here in America. We're going all over the place. It appears to us that the slave ship is a amnesia ship. They all know that they Hebrew Israelites there, but we got 12.5 million people who leave from there and go around, and you got to put your bifocals on to find these people. I didn't want to talk about this right now. I didn't want to have to open my book. I'm like, yo, that's why I was just like, yo, for real. So let's blow this up real quick here. So let me see, presentation 25. Is it showing?
Before he shared this, am I going to get to respond to this?
You can do whatever you want. This is from the Encyclopedia of African Religion. You already know how I do with this book here. So here we go.
Who wrote that book?
We got the what happened?
Who wrote that book, Rabon?
Malente Cape. Oh, I keep getting the brother wrong, but it's like 100 scholars in here. They all black people. You see it right here. If you want the copy, I'll give it to you. You have fun.
I see it. No, I see it. No problem.
All right. It says traditionally the Wolof language and people are considered to have derived from Mali after the fall of ancient Ghana. Who are the people originated in that area? Those are the Saniki people. We don't got to go through the Ouagadougou cycle and all of that. Yes, it says they come from the Orient, which is the word the Arabics use, which means east. Doesn't say Israel. Any event, they were considered a wide socially organized group referred to as the Wolof Empire. So if we listen to Yarah, the Wolof Empire is a nigger brew empire. We've historically dwelled in the northwestern Senegal in the 14th century. A strong linguistic case has been made to show that the West African Wolof people derived from ancient Kemet. Why doesn't it say there's a strong connection with the Hebrew language?
They just said they came from Egyptian Jews.
No, it doesn't say that here.
I just read that they came from Egyptian Jews.
Whatever you want to say, I'm reading
That's Kemet.
Your brother, whatever.
You agree with me,
brother? This is way after that.
No, it's not, bro.
Brother. Ghana doesn't go to the 4th century BCE.
Bro, they said they were in Mali.
Brother,
listen to me.
Let him finish one mic, yeah.
Listen,
go ahead,
you're talking about Elephantine Dreams as the 4th.
I'm gonna run this back just a little bit, just so y'all can hear this right quick, just so you can catch this.
Brother, this is way after that.
No, it's not.
To as the Wolof Empire. So if we listen to Yarah, the Wolof Empire is a nigger brew empire. We've historically dwelled in the northwestern Senegal in the 14th century. A strong linguistic case has been made to show that the West African Wolof people derived from ancient Kemet. Why doesn't it say there's a strong connection with the Hebrew language?
They just said they came from Egyptian Jews.
No, it doesn't say that here.
I just read that they came from Egyptian Jews.
Whatever you want to say, I'm reading.
That's Kemet.
Your brother, whatever.
You agree with me,
brother. This is way after that.
No, it's not, bro.
Brother. Ghana doesn't go to the 4th century BCE.
Bro, they said they were in Mali.
Brother,
Let's finish one mic, yeah.
Listen, man. You're talking about Elephantine Dreams in the 4th century BC. We're in the AD period.
I know.
Okay, in any event, the kingship
lineage.
Whatever, bro. The kingship between Wolof and the kinship between Wolof and Meta Egyptian language is critical in pointing out Wolof's language heritage that is not solely restricted to the 13th and 14th century black appearance. Languages are never isolated system. More than 3 million people speak the Wolof language, and they primarily dwell in Senegal and in Ghana regions. Let's go up here a little more.
Why aren't you the landlord? Yes, you. Why aren't you the landlord? Every day you go to
the language considered one of Africa's most bonding languages. Wolof is a national language. The Wolof people are family orientated. They are intelligent and many work as peanut and cotton farmers and merchant traders. The Wolof people predominantly practice Islam, which was brought to Senegal from Mauritania as early as the 11th century. But they are not adverse to the use of Wolof ritualists referred to as the Jabakat, for example, who makes use of various religious devices to protect a person specifically against evil spirits. Under Islam, there is the use of brotherhoods led by caliphs who have instituted a strong system of discipline and discipleship. Anyway, when you read about those Wolofs, this is where this decree comes out as far as no Muslims here. He brought this book up, Black Jews in Africa and the Americas. Let's scroll over. What does it say here? In 1601, the Portuguese crown gave orders permitting Jewish merchants based mainly on Cape Verde Islands along the Senegambian and Upper Guinea coast. Soon, Jews were working as trade factors along the coast and even the interior among the Wolof and other African communities. These Jews don't seem to be lost. Let's see what they're doing there. They traded for slaves. What did they do? They traded for slaves, wax, gun, ivory, gold. In Senegambia, a number of conversos, forced Jews converts to Christianity, took advantage of the.
When all else fails, try to make them a convert from a Sephardic Jew. That seems to be the basic MO that comes from the Dagger Squad, which is hilarious because I'm on camera with Garfield on a video he took down, unfortunately, and I'll be playing this on a whole other day because we're going to get into these sources now, Garfield. He admits that he believes that that there were Jews in West Africa in like 900 AD, right? That's well before any Sephardic Jews are going down into West Africa because they're being expelled from Spain or whatever. That's well before that. I mean, the Jews in Spain are literally going through their golden period at the time, under the court of the caliphate and whatnot. That doesn't even make sense. But see, this is what it is. Like, so your man just recognizes that he cut his own head off. He thought that book was going to save him, and the book told him, nah, that Wolof language looks like it's tied to Egypt, which would make sense. Like, so if Yarah is saying these people say that they came from Egypt, and then Rob Warren says, like, yeah, the language looks like it came from Egypt. Okay. Well then, how did that disprove anything Yarah said? How did that do anything? How did this prove anything Yarah said? It didn't. Not in any way, shape, or form. And then he mentioned the fact that there were some Wolof that were Muslim. Anyway, I'm gonna let this play.
Of the distance from Portugal to return publicly. Those ain't black people. From the beginning of the 17th century, the Jews, some of mixed Portuguese African descent, some with African wives and servants, were openly engaged in the illegal import of swords. The descendants of these Jews and other Portuguese immigrants of Cape Verde Islands and West Africans. So if you want to talk about those people who be Ordelencados, who are the people who left from exiled and had to sell their property, they was over here making money. And they were selling African slaves. I don't even need to read no more. I didn't even want to talk about this because it's weird. It's just weird. I just didn't want to leave it unchecked.
No, but what's weird though, bro, is that you still hasn't shown that these people don't have an oral tradition. That they say they came from Egyptian Jews.
And no, it doesn't. Sorry, try again.
It does, it's bro. They say they came from Egyptian Jews. Do I gotta show you the source again,
bro? But listen, when you
stop, bro. Do they say they come from Egyptian Jews?
I feel what you're saying, brother.
No, you don't, because you're not answering the question.
No,
do they not come from Egyptian Jews?
Yo, brother,
why are you dismissing African oral tradition?
Brother, listen to me. when
you guys hate Africa.
Yo, brother, listen. You
y'all
hate
narrative,
Africa.
bro.
You nigga brewism in Africa.
Nigga, you a nigga brew, you 7-point nigga. You a nigga brew. What the hell?
Yo, Yarah, seriously.
This all our
we gonna close this one out, but seriously, brother, serious. Get the original Wolof oral tradition. Not that. When you get that
is the original oral
no, brother,
tradition,
no,
bro. They have several.
Brother,
they have
listen,
several.
I get it. That's fine.
Right. So which one? So which one do you say is true and correct?
Whatever
the one you
said,
choose.
Whatever one with that you got.
No, the one that you choose is that the one
No,
you say
brother.
exposed above the other.
No,
one?
that's
so
not
when they say we Egyptian Jews that went to Mali, and that's where we were in Mali. How do you discount what they're saying?
Brother, I'm just gonna tell you this one more time, brother.
You can't do it, brother.
All right, brother. When you get
simply saying no, it isn't. It's not.
Brother, listen. Like the people of Ghana, right? In Ouagadougou, they got the Ouagadougou cycle. That's their oral tradition. They talk about that. Hold on, man, brother. Listen.
What's the Ouagadougou cycle?
What is the? It's their oral tradition.
No, what does that mean?
Oh my God, brother.
What is the Ouagadougou cycle?
Brother, the Ouagadougou cycle is the African people telling you their origins, where they came from. What is the name?
Do not they claim? Hold on. The Ouagadougou cycle, isn't it not based on a lunar calendar?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. I really don't. So all I'm asking you to do, brother, if you ever want to have this, listen, brother. All I'm saying is that if you do this, bring the Wolof tradition, the name of their creation story, and what they say.
They have several creation
It doesn't matter, brother.
It does matter.
No,
they have several creation stories. And you trying to tell us which one you choose?
No, I don't want.
No.
Because
it fits your narrative, doesn't work, brother.
Brother, I don't mind looking at them all.
Let's look at them all. That's all,
brother. You keep putting words in my mouth.
No. That's all.
Listen, all we asking you to do is that when you bring that argument, don't bring an article. Bring the Wolof oral tradition.
I bought their tradition. Their tradition is what they tell you.
What's the name?
That's all you.
So, in this article, and I'm going to read it in a second, right? I'm going to read it after I play another quick video, right? But in this article, they're quoting again. This dude is the imam of the area. Direct quote. They give you the name, picture, city he's in. They give you his position amongst the people. He is their head spiritual leader in the city, in the town that they're in. He's given the oral tradition, specifically from two subsects of clans and whatnot, saying where they come from. And I can tell you personally, right? So I have, so genetics bears witness to these kind of migrations and whatnot, right? So a lot of people who came off the slave ships are E1B1A, right? I am not E1B1A. I am E1A. There's a lot of people, there's a good portion of people that are E1A as well, right? So we find them amongst the Dogon, the Mali, or the Mandinka, the Fulani, the Wolof, the Hausa, the Fante, a bunch of people, right? But you find it in Egypt, you find it in Sudan, and you find it in West Africa and North Africa. Again, so you find this particular DNA amongst the Wolof. And they've been, again, you can find it in Egypt, you can find it in Sudan, and you can find it where the Wolof are. So even their DNA backs up the linguistic concept that linguistically they have a connection. But wait and see what else their language matches up with, because I'm about to jump into that. Because Yarah didn't go into everything. I literally asked Yarah to hold off on talking about certain stuff until he got a debate with Garfield. Garfield, just off of this conversation alone, off his previous conversation with Reggie, is hitting the brakes and doesn't want no parts of it. So might as well start bringing it out anyway, right? Might as well start bringing it anyway. You know what I'm saying? So what Rob Warren has confirmed so far is that the oral tradition, the stuff he's talking about confirms a linguistic tie to Egypt, which matches the same oral tradition that the Yarah is talking about. And again, this isn't for all, like Yarah's not speaking for all Wolof, man. He's talking about this subsect of people. This subsect of the Wolof. It's not all of them. And he's being consistent, saying there's multiple creation stories. There's multiple clans, fam. It's not a homogenous story. And then when Rob Warren goes into his own book trying to disprove things, again, shows the Egyptian connection and then shows the fact that there's an Islamic connection with the thing. So when Yarah is citing a Muslim group called B'nai Israel, who's Muslim, talking about they came from Egypt, how is that any different than what Rob Warren just brought out? It's not. It's not. It parallels. But I'm gonna keep going forward because I think Chris calls in one more time.
You're bringing is someone else's. All you're bringing is someone else's observation,
brother.
That's all I read to you,
and that's what you're doing.
Exactly. So why are you telling me to bring something different other than what you're doing?
No. I'm
Yeah.
No,
so what I'm telling you,
no, brother.
First
all
of all,
I did,
stop the confirmation bias,
brother. Listen, all I did was bring up what the scholars say about the Wolof people, their language, and it ain't connected. And it ain't connected to nigger brews.
That's exactly what I said, and you're wrong. They're claiming if they say
man.
They're descended from Egyptian Jews, why you keep denying their oral tradition?
Can you produce the original oral tradition? What is the name of it?
Can you produce an original oral tradition of the Wolof? You don't have nothing written from them.
Yeah, I can.
You don't have nothing written from them. You're a liar.
Okay.
You have nothing written from them. You're a liar.
Okay, I'm lying. So the oral traditions from Wolof.
You have nothing written on oral. You have nothing. You have no original transcript or inscription from the Wolof detailing their oral tradition.
Brother, oral tradition is later written down, bro. Like,
okay, then.
Bro.
So if I'm telling you their oral tradition is this, and then they say that this is who we are, how are you discounting it, Rob Warren? This is what I'm talking about.
Fam, listen.
Intellectual
man,
honesty. You guys keep pushing over here, bro.
You just want to argue.
You can't do it. All you want to do, bro, is simply saying, no, it isn't.
Bro.
That's not a rebuttal, Rob Warren. You got to come better than that.
All right.
I made this song in 2 minutes using my MIDI pack.
Rebuttal, fam.
All right, brother. All I did was show you the Jews who came from.
I did that to you already.
Yo, brother, listen. I showed you the Jews who came from Europe, who were free, who were selling Africans and marrying into the African people.
I don't deny that.
That's how the nigga.
I don't have a problem with that.
I'm done, bro.
But I'm telling you, when the Wolof tell you that they came from Egyptian Jews, how are you dismissing that?
No, that's whatever that shit you got on that.
And that's whatever that shit you got up on the screen.
I know. Yeah, the black people who wrote this.
And the black people.
I gotta stop it there because I didn't know they were gonna cuss right there. You know what I'm saying? For my apologies. This is a PG channel. My apologies to Sal right quick. I'll stop it right there because it doesn't need to go any further because they're not the information stopped, right? So you're seeing what it is. Rob Warren's like he's trying to play this game like, oh, see, you brought some more tradition, but bring a different oral tradition. And my man Yarah was like, but wait. Why does this oral tradition not count? Explain me why it don't count. Why does it not count? I got the same thing when I got in this dialogue with Garfield. I was being told that like, no, the connections to the Middle East and to Arabia, no, it's all Sharifism. So I kept asking the question. So what is the benefit? Matter of fact, I'm gonna stop sharing this. I'm gonna go through the article right quick. So what is the benefit of claiming a Jewish heritage in the Islamic world, where the majority of Muslims believe that a Jew killed the prophet? And again, so like it's not like you get some special benefits being a Jew in the Islamic world. Like if you don't convert, you got to pay the Jesus tax. If you convert, okay, you're just another Muslim, right? You don't get like special benefits being a Jewish Muslim. That's not how that works. You don't get preferential treatment and whatnot. As a matter of fact, you'll see in the article I'm about to show, like it makes their life actually a little bit harder. Not easier. So you can find this. I will put this in the comment section, and I will put this in the description. And let's see if I can put it in the chat. Let's see if YouTube is going to be nice to me right quick. Oh, YouTube. Let us see. There you go. Yeah, I can check this out for yourselves. So I'm the one who is circulating this article, right? And I'm going to break down in another video why, but I'm the one who's spreading this one around, right? So my good brother had this article because I laced in with it right quick, and I want to go into some stuff, right? So this man here, Mr. Fadiga, which is he's talked about quite a bit in this. You know what I'm saying? They'll just start referring to him as Fadiga in this at one point. Again, this article is written by the Kenan Lipschitz. All right. So it says here, B'nai Israel, Senegal. He will welcome you into, talking about this man here, he will welcome you into his earthen floor home, introduce you to his 3-wet home. Let me make sure I got this as big as possible. Let me get myself out of this. But yeah, if y'all have, you want me to make that bigger, hit a 1. I'll do it anyway, just off of general principle. Let's see if I can make it a little bit bigger. Yep. Let's see if that'll work. So B'nai Israel, Senegal. He will welcome you into his earthen floor home, introduce you to his 3 wives, and let you sample their cooking. But Fadiga does not want foreigners to come near the sacred tree of his village deep in the Senegalese bush. The tree is holy ground, says Fadiga. President of this remote settlement of 4,000 souls, our Jewish ancestor Jacob planted it when his people first settled here 1,000 years ago. So he's the president. I do believe they talk about him being like the Islamic leader there as well, right? So you're getting the oral tradition from the leader of this group. The lush kapok tree towers over the parched shrubbery at the edge of B'nai Israel, a dusty community in eastern Senegal near the border with Mali. The residents, all Muslims, are members of a tribe whose name means sons of Israel, and they trace their lineage to 2 clans, Silla and Drame. They say are descended from Egyptian Jews. We are all practicing Muslims, and we don't want to become Jewish, Fadiga says. In fact, we don't like to talk much about our Jewish background, but we don't hide it either. We know our people came from Egypt to Somalia, from there to Nigeria, where they split about 1,000 years ago. One branch of the 2 families went to Mali, another to Guinea, and we settled here. So I want so to be clear, so when Chris Harris was talking about they said they don't want to be Jewish. No, they're talking about in terms of religious practice, not by ethnicity. They're claiming having Israelite or Jewish ethnicity. 100%. They're claiming the ethnicity. They're saying we don't want the religious practice. We want to be Muslims. And again, they're saying that they split up 1,000 years ago after having gone from Egypt to Somalia to Nigeria. Look, check this out, fam. I want you to hear this. These might be a group of people who are descendants of Israelites who may have never left Africa. It's very possible they may have never left Africa. I want you to think about that. This could be a group of Israelites or descendants of Israelites who never left Africa, went from Egypt to Somalia to Nigeria to Senegal. And they're saying after they left Somalia, they split up into 3 different groups, 3 different branches, went to Mali, Guinea, and Senegal, which I'll confirm. I might confirm that here, but I'm definitely going to jump on this one in another video. But going further, the truth of such claims is difficult to establish, but West Africa has had a documented Jewish presence since at least the 14th century, when several Jewish merchants set up shop in Timbuktu in western Mali. Jews kept trickling in from Spain and Portugal during the Inquisition of the 15th and 16th centuries, and later from Morocco. But that's not what these people are claiming. They're claiming to come from a way older lineage, right? A way older lineage. And again, their language linking up to Egyptian, from what Rob Warren's talking about, that lends credence to that concept. That lends a lot of credence to that concept. But going further, Gideon Behar, Israel's former ambassador to Senegal, says Jews maintained a constant presence in the area until 1943, when the last Jewish settlement was uprooted from Guinea-Bissau, Senegal's southern neighbor, then a Portuguese colony under the rule of pro-fascist dictator Antonio de Oliveira Salazar. Now, see, again, this link to the Portuguese stuff, this all has to do, this is like post-expulsion from Spain and whatnot. And that's not what these people are claiming. That's not what's going down with them. So pay attention to this, because I'm going to start jumping into some linguistic stuff here in a second, right? B'nai Israel is a striking example because of its name, but there are many, many other ways in which this area is little known, but rich Jewish presence has influenced it. Says Bahar, one of the few Westerners to have visited B'nai Israel. Bahar believes the historic presence is responsible for some of the faint Jewish traces still visible in the region. West African musicians often decorate the traditional 21-string bridge harp known as kora with Jewish symbols, including the Star of David and some words in Wolof, a widely spoken language in Senegal, bear more resemblance to Hebrew pronunciations than Arabic, which is spoken in neighboring countries. The Wolof word for cheek is pronounced lechai, as in Hebrew. One of Wolof's words for wise is pronounced the same as the Hebrew word hacham. A weaver of fabric merchant is called a rab, similar to rabbi. The B'nai Israel also, again, so there's linguistic ties to the Egyptian language and Hebrew. There's linguistic ties to Egyptian and Hebrew. And they're saying that they come from Egyptian Jews. B'nai Israel also have a cultural trait in common with Jews in aversion to intermarriage. According to Fadiga, the community tries not to assimilate, preferring to wed with members of the tribe who live in neighboring villages. I believe there is an element of truth in to the tradition of B'nai Israel, especially since they have nothing to gain from pretending, says Bahar, who returned from Senegal in 2011. They're not seeking Israeli citizenship, nor are they claiming to be Jewish. In fact, and they're, again, talking about religion-wise, right? In fact, their Jewish ancestry and name can only give them problems. Again, in fact, their Jewish ancestry and name can only give them problems. So what's the benefit of them identifying as such? They're not trying to get Israeli citizenship. They don't claim their religion. In an Islamic world, it only gives them problems. Through their Jewish association, though their Jewish association is potentially problematic in a Muslim country, according to Bahar, some residents have sought to change the village name in their passports to permit travel to Mecca. The story of B'nai Israel's origin is not universally accepted in Senegal, and this is clear. And this is one of the reasons why I use this article, because it cites the counter narrative. Honest scholarship always cites the counter narrative. But it's not the counter narrative that Garfield tried to push off today. And I'm going to play that counter narrative. Y'all got to hear this. It's hilarious. He gives the craziest counter narrative with no primary documentation, no documentation whatsoever. It's just off of say so. Just off of say so. But the story of B'nai Israel of the origin is not universally accepted in Senegal. Abdul Kader Talasamanca, a Senegalese writer who published a book last year about the community, B'nai Israel of Senegal, says the name has nothing to do with Jews and in fact is taken from the title of a chapter of the Quran. Now, which is hilarious because the title of the chapter of the Quran is B'nai Israel and it's specifically about the Israelites. It's specifically about the Israelites. It's not called B'nai Israel, the sons of Israel, for no reason. I believe it's chapter 17 of the Quran, if memory serves me correctly. So even that's hilarious. But I'm going to jump into this a little bit as well, right? Some accounts do, however, however, support the last leg of the journey that Fadiga describes. B'nai Israel are speakers of the Jahanki dialect, the language of the Jahanki tribe, which the International Journal of Africa Historical Studies says migrated down the Niger River, settling in Mali, Guinea, Gambia, and Senegal, right? Now, I'm going to definitely jump into this in another video, but this is the headshot. This is what's like. So if you're me and my people and you see the information I've been circulating, like you're giggling, laughing at this juncture. Like it's hilarious, funny at this juncture. Because this is the absolute kill shot. Because these people have a particular Islamic practice amongst their Sufi orders and whatnot that you see universally amongst the Wolof, the Hausa, the Fulani, and the Mandinka and whatnot at a certain period in time, to where these people are practicing an Israelite tradition that other Muslims don't practice, and it's verifiable that other Muslims don't practice it, and it's verifiable that it's Islamically or Israelite inspired based upon its practice and whatnot. So yeah, so just to be clear, they have linguistic ties to Hebrew and the Kemetic language. They have DNA that goes to Egypt and to Sudan. They have modern modern Israeli Jewish ambassadors to Senegal talking about, like, yeah, they don't benefit anything in a Muslim country saying that they have Jewish ancestry. They don't benefit at all. Got all that popping on. Going further, in his village, Fadiga is known as the Merabu. There we go. That's what I want to say. The Merabu. He's the local Islamic leader right there, right? That's a name in a particular West African kind of Sufi order, whatnot. The local equivalent of a shaman or bush doctor. Samba Diop, a villager in his 40s, says Fadiga has special healing powers that allows him to cure snake and scorpion bites with his hands. Children who suffer from epilepsy are encouraged to bite an amulet made by Fadiga's youngest wives from a goat skin, etc. Like the amulet tradition, all that type of stuff, and that's very prominent in West African Islam, Sufi Islam. And you even see that in America. And again, the Wolof came to America as slaves. That's verifiable. There's Wolof words in the Gullah dialect, man. That's verifiable. That's verifiable. Talking about when a snake bites one of us, we go to him, and then the snake dies. Job says. Unlike most villages in the area, the B'nai Israel live in houses made of brick instead of mud, and thatch huts. It also was the first. Now think about that, fam. They're saying they come from Egypt and they're Egyptian Jews, and they rock with bricks. They rock with bricks, son. That's a pretty big deal. Like that there's a lot of credibility to the story at this juncture, right? Not saying like you can hang your hat up on it. I'm saying like this, like it. Come on, this is starting to look like a duck and sound like a duck. Let's keep reading and see if it walks like a duck. Yeah. So instead of bricks, or instead of thatch huts and whatnot and mud, they use bricks. It also was the first village in the area to have a clinic and electrical generators, according to Fadiga. Yeah. The school in B'nai Israel is surrounded by a tall brick wall inside. Teachers give lessons in French, math, and science. The school day begins at 5:30 a.m. and finishes by noon. When the asbestos-roofed classrooms become as hot as ovens. Such relative luxuries are financed by about 1,000 B'nai Israel who live in the Senegalese capital of Dakar or in France, sending monthly donations back to the village, usually for the region. The money is not sent directly to relatives, but is placed in a communal trust that pays for health services and schools, which in turn service not only the village but the entire remote region, which is straight Moorish stuff, and I'll get into that later. This place is blessed, and its people are chosen, Fadiga says, but some people resent us for it. So it's best not to talk too much about it. So again, they're not, they got no issue talking about the people are chosen, right? And if they come from Jews, they're like, hey, we're trying to keep this on the hush, bro. We're trying to be some Muslims, just keep it chill. Don't mess with our tree, don't mess with us, we'll call it a day. But yeah, hilarities, fam. Hilarities, fam. straight hilarities. So real quick, I want to play. Let me see. Where's the video at? Let me play the right one. Yeah, real quick, I want to play a little bit of some commentary that Rob Bourne and Garfield give on talking about the Wolof information right quick, and then I'm gonna jump into some more stuff. Let me mute my mic and share my screen right quick. And Sal, I do apologize ahead of time if there is a cuss word that slips out on this. I did not screen this particular. I listened to it. I couldn't hear any that I noticed, but if there's one that pops out, like I please forgive me. I got a lot of stuff in the background when I'm doing this stuff, so my apologies if there is one that slip out. I was pretty positive there wasn't any cuss words on the last one, but alas, in the last couple percent of the video I played, it definitely had a couple. So my sincere apologies on that.
Rob on, you finished saying what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm finished. No,
All right,
today.
my bad. I was on a phone call. My bad.
The short guy, the other one that does the cooking.
Oh, okay. All right, so let me get this right now. I'm gonna play the rest of this.
You ready? Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah.
All right, time will start, brother.
Yeah, you can start. This is a rhetorical question, brother. Let me ask you something.
You know you're not sharing your screen yet.
Yeah, I got it. I'm
Go
going
ahead.
to share it in a second. Let me share it now. All of those things, those 11 or 12 tenets you brought up, all those things, these people that you say started these 12 tenets, did they get them from the Bible, sir? Did they get them from the Hebrew Bible, sir? Did they get them from the Torah, sir? If they got these things from the Bible, the Torah, the Tanakh, then they didn't create it. They are not the originators of it. Do you understand that? The title is the debate of this debate is the beginnings, the origin of the Black Hebrew Israelite theology began in America. No, every tenet you put on screen, down to the feet washing, came from the Bible, came from the Torah. You can't give them credit for something they never did, for something they didn't do. They didn't create it, Rabbi. Just because they practice it doesn't mean that they created it. And that's all you prove, is that they practice Israelite rituals. That's all you prove. How can you date something 1,000 years before these people's time and give them credit for it? That's called plagiarism, Rawborn, and that's what you're doing. But let me share my screen. You said something about the Wolof speaking people. You said these are not Hebrews, are not connected to Hebrews. You said something of that nature, right? In Senegalese Bush, the B'nai Israel tribes claim Jewish heritage. Why are you saying the Wolof people? Are these not the Wolof speaking people? Why are you saying they have no connection to them, bro? Let's hear what they say. The tree is holy ground, says Khadijah, president of the remote settlement of 4,000 souls. Our Jewish ancestor, Jacob, planted it when his people first settled here 1,000 years ago. That's his history. The lush kapar tree towers over the parched shrubbery at the edge of dusty community in eastern Senegal near the border with Mali. The residents, all Muslims, are members of a tribe whose name means sons of Israel. And they trace their lineage of two clans, the Silla and the Drame. They say they are descended from Egyptian Jews. We are all practicing Muslims and we don't want to become Jewish. But then it says, in fact, we don't like to talk too much about our Jewish background. but we don't hide it either. We know our people came from Egypt to Somalia and from there to Nigeria, and we split 1,000 years ago. One branch of the two families went to Mali and the other to Guinea, and we settled there. Do you understand that? So this is what we're saying, brother. Like, you didn't prove, it didn't show the fact that these things originated in the Americas simply because they practiced them. And just because these people claim to be America, these slaves said they're Africans. I'm sorry, that they're Africans. What tribe of Africans did they say? So a lot of what you're saying is only conjecture. Let me show you something else. The Lost Tribes, a myth suggestion towards rewriting Hebrew history, January 1, 1930. Let me read to you what it says. It says, Israelites among American Negroes. Dr. Allen H. Godby postulates the position that Black Jews were on the west coast of the African coast from Senegal to Angola, and they, the Central Sudan, by Muslim propagandism, having a knowledge of the Black Jews in the United States. Let me put that down. Godby arrived at this conclusion. These facts have peculiar significance when the presence of Judaism among American Negroes is to be considered. So they had an understanding of Judaism, of Negroes, Negro slaves in America practicing Judaism that weren't converts. He didn't call them converts. Hundreds of thousands of slaves were brought to the Americas from Western Africa during the days of the traffic. The transatlantic slave trade is what he's talking about. Beginning nearly 400 years ago, how much more of Judaism survived among West African Negroes in that earlier time? It says, as persecuted communities, they were rather more in danger than in other Negroes of being raided by war parties and sold as slaves. It may be considered certain that many partially Judaized Negroes were among the slaves brought to America from the book The Lost Tribes of Myth. So your whole premise is dead when you talk about whether or not these people were in the Americas, whether or not they were practicing Judaism. If they weren't practicing Judaism or even speaking the language, then why would even George Washington call some of his Black slaves Jews? You're arguing over the tenets that someone didn't create. I'm addressing everything you said. William Crowdy got everything that you say he practiced or came up with. He got it from the Bible, from the Torah that existed well before his time. So how can he be the originator of it? That's just like me going out and saying, I'm the great MC. 1, 2, 3. I can say it, but that doesn't make me the originator of it, does it, Sarnetta? And that's all Ravon showed tonight. Is those 12 tenets and practices, feet washing. That's in the Torah, that's in the New Testament. Everything he showed in those 12 tenets came from the Bible, well before William Crowdy existed. Well before that. So your argument on all points is moot. That's all the legs your table stood on. He's looking for people in the Americas to call themselves Israelites or call themselves Benjamites. Or he's looking for people at during pre-colonial times to come in and build them a specific synagogue. We have evidences of people who were writing in a mesh of Arabic and Hebrew writing written on church pews in Savannah, Georgia during the time of slavery. So we know that people were practicing, they're still practicing their culture. So all of these things that you're postulating, they fail on the simple fact that you claim these guys, Frank Cherry, William Crowdy, and Christian created. They were the first to do it in the Americas. That's false. That's false. Everything else you said tonight is gish gallop. It means nothing. It has
2 minutes
to do with the topic of this debate. And the topic of this debate was, did they create it? Did the origins begin in the United States? And the answer is no. That's why I brought up Ethiopianism. That's why I brought up Africa, because you see those things happening in those areas before they get to the United States. And how we know they got to the United States is through the African slave, the transatlantic slave trade. How else would George Washington know that these people were Jews? How else will God know that these people were practicing Judaism in America? How else would he know that? A lot of gish gallop and no substantiating information. I addressed every point you had. The very fact that it didn't originate there, that those tenets originated in the Bible thousands of years before Crowdy existed, thousands of years before Black Hebrew Israelite movement in quote unquote in the Americas, which doesn't exist anyway. There's no such thing. So anything before that happened, like, you can't subscribe, you can't ascribe the beginnings, you can't give them credit for something that they didn't create. That's it. You can't do it anywhere. Simply saying, oh, because they practiced it here, they must be the first ones to have done it. We already showed you that's not the case. We already showed you that's not the case. So again, his whole
All right, you can take an extra 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Yeah, so his whole premise is faulty to the degree, again, when we start talking about whether or not that that William Crowdy, because this is what he's basing his whole argument on, whether or not he actually found it. What is the definition of origin? What is the definition of origin? It's the point or place where something begins, arises, or is derived. None of what William Crowdy taught, if you want to talk about magic, there's no magic that began in the United States. All of that stuff was imported. This is a mixed culture of people. Nothing began here.
All right, Rob Bond, come on in the room. Enter the room, my brother.
Yeah, man.
Okay, you have a
I just have a couple questions.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
You have a question to bring to Elder Yarah.
All right, let me bring back Robert. I want to. Do you guys want me to play all the question and answer stuff, or what y'all want to do from here? Because I just wanted to hear what his info was, and I took some notes. And the Senegal people, I want to ask Rob on about that. What do you think about his claim about the Senegal banning Israel?
Senegal banning Israel?
Yeah, that's what he claimed. He claimed in the article, and I think Chris Harris had called in and refuted him and played the whole article.
Yeah, he read the Chris read the article, and the article said that they didn't want to be called Jews. So that's what happens when you bring a source up and don't beat it. And then in the middle of it, it's talking about the Saniki people, not the Wolof people.
Okay,
So,
let me say this. They do have a history of the banning Israel, and what a lot of people don't know, and this is the argument with this Yahweh war machine. They're trying to go with this wall of craziness, and sometimes I try to be respectful and just hear people out. But when you're trying to be a Jew so bad, the truth of the matter is, family, there is a banning Israel. They actually got the name out of the actual Quran. This is how they're called in the Quran, spelled the same way, banning Israel. And what happened is, there's a scholar by the name of Lamine Sané. I don't think he's alive anymore. And what happened is, the community in Senegal, the village doesn't actually derive from Hebraic migrants. It was a Jakanke Muslim cleric one of the community itinerant teachers who founded the Islamic communes in the Middle Ages, and he had a profound influence on the development of Islam in West Africa. He had a dream. Again, goes back to what Rawbone been saying about the niggeroos. They always have dreams. So this Muslim guy had a dream where he saw the biblical patriarchs. So, and the Jakanki people have a method of they induce and they interpret dreams. So what people need to understand with this society, and what's crazy also, is the people, the Silla clan of the Jakanki is the one that traced their origin to the Bani Israel in the 13th century. But the thing is, those people are the ones that were doing the slave raiding in that culture. Meaning that they were the ones that were shipping out people or grabbing people or whatever. They are the ones that were doing that. And I think
you
claim them. But Robert, if you're gonna claim those people, you're claiming the people that was basically sending the people away. So they actually stayed, just like the people of Wider, conducting the whole slave raiding and helping the poor and all that stuff. You're claiming people who helped to bring us over here, not the people that actually came over here. And I think that's what they don't know, the actual history. But go ahead, bro.
Yeah, so like, even if you scroll through, because I didn't feel like talking about this Wolof and all this retarded shit. So I pulled up the African religion book, showed you who the Wolof are, who their language is, and he keep mentioning Tudor Puppet. I pull that up. Here's the dudes that come from Spain, get exiled over there. And I showed how they become the Linkados and how they enslaving black people, bro. And how those people adopted this Jewish place because they took African wives. I don't know why you don't know this if you're talking about this. I'm like, yo, bro, like.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. They sound intelligent to somebody that's not familiar.
It's just weird. I just didn't really want to get into it. You can play the first two questions because there's only two questions.
Yeah, the article that you gave me years ago with the Hamitic hypothesis with Robin Law also talks about the Senegal and the claims of that. It's basically they want to make up. West Africans want to make shit up. They want to be attached to some greatness. So that was one of the traditions.
So again, pay attention to the oral tradition, just not when it says that there's any Hebrew connection whatsoever. And so this is where it gets super hilarious. There's show me the primary documentation. Show me this. Show me this. What did Garfield show to back what he was talking about? He didn't show anything. He didn't show anything. And Garfield trying to be like he wanted to throw the Yahweh War Machine name out there and want to take some pot shots. Fam, you've literally been running from the sit-down conversation that I respectfully asked you to have. That you respectfully agreed to have multiple times. You were on Branch. I said, yeah, we can do it. You got time. You had time to do this show today, but you didn't have time to set up a debate with Yarah. You had time to do this show today, but you had time to do it to sit down with me, bro. Everyone sees what time it is. We've seen what time it is ever since you took down that show when you admitted those same Wolof from that same article were Jews. And if I'm lying, just put the whole show back up, fam. Just put the whole show back up. But since you're gonna make this claim about the junkie and them being the slave traders and not coming over on slave ships, it's so hilarious when I hear these. Like, so this is what Garfield always says. You don't want to connect yourself to these people. These are the ones who were the slavers. It's always his claim, no matter what. No matter what, fam. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. Literally, all of us come from people who enslaved other people in West Africa and sold them into slavery. That's how we got into slavery, fam. This is why Nigeria is apologizing for some people into slaves. This is why Ghana is apologizing for some people into slavery. This is why Benin's apologizing for some people into slavery. So all these places are apologizing for participating in the slave trade. Did Fulani participate? Did the Fulani have Fulani wars and enslave people? 100%. Did they get enslaved? 100%. Did they get on slave ships? 100%. Did they also participate in fighting against the enslavement? 100%. Like, stop acting like y'all know anything about the slavery in West Africa, fam, because you don't. If you did, you know how laughable what you're saying is. And when I show you that easily 6 out of the top 10 tribes, and I could go 8, bro, if I wanted to. 8 out of the top 10 tribes, if I really wanted to, are connected to people who can say, again, none of these tribes are homogenous, fam. Understand that. And none of us are saying that these tribes are homogenous. We're saying that people, different clans and subgroups amongst these people connect to Israelite Hebrew cultures. But that's all going to come out for him. I see my man's son's birthday party must be over because he's on Yeshub's channel. I'm about to jump off, get something to eat, see what's popping off. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all for sitting with me on this one. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna bring my man on when he has the time to go through the last 2 debates he did on Sunday channel and whatnot. And I'm definitely gonna start just mollywopping the info on this one right here, fam. Just mounding it up on this one because I was trying to give y'all a good, decent conversation for Black History Month with Garfield. He didn't want to do it, you know what I'm saying? And now there's some games being played, so might as well just lace y'all with the info and show you what it is what we've been working on, fam. But with that, family, I appreciate y'all for your time. Hope y'all were edified and learned some stuff on this. And with that, family, I say peace. And let me get my joint popping because I'm going to go with this one. I say peace and love.
I like the way this feel, yeah. Let my soul cry, yeah. Minister, we gonna speak from the heart on this one. I'm performing lyrical funerals, no obituary. I killed your boy and brought him back to life. Pet cemetery. My anointing not based on attendance at a seminary. Scarlet witches, they attracted to the visionary. Everywhere I go, I bring the word with me, missionary. Soldiers drafted in the war machine, military. Pay attention, what I'm saying to you, legendary. You got the demeanor of a front desk secretary. That mean you take the calls, but you don't make the calls. That's why you hate, cause ain't nothing fake about me at all. Now I dare you try to say that with a straight face. My delivery in tip-top, great shape. I'm too advanced for you, light years, space age. No evolution for you cavemen, stone age. I'm a thoroughbred, rock solid. I came from the bottom to the top, rock climbing. I grew up in the hood, pros and cons. That's that full court pressure when the ambulance roll out their stretch. Why can't you see it's not logical? And you live diabolical. Boy, your point of view smaller than the hair follicle molecule. This for all of them that follow you, smoking all of them barbecue. When I pull up, your voice don't correct itself with no auto-tune. I got a whole nother level that I can enter whenever I gotta deal with the devil. I pick a whole nother method. I hear a whole lot of yapping. They wanna see my reaction. I'm really out here in the community making it happen. I don't really think they understand the dilemma. They ain't looking at the man in the mirror. Can't say it in the clearer. The plan is very simple. It's time to start playing in the temple. Before somebody come and put the can on your temple. Reaching like a baby with his hand for the nipple. The Grand Reaper coming with his hand on the sickle. In the van coming with a ram with it. With the van coming get him. I am so glad that I changed up. Made it out of where I came from. Watch for the sliding hook of the slow ball, fastball, and that change up. That ghetto lifestyle, it changed us. Go back to visit, it ain't changed much. Only difference is now the way that my brain process information. And Satan, been after my license day one. Let me say something. Only reason that I'm still alive today because God's grace is amazing. Just another raisin in the sun. Dream deferred when things occur. Now you getting served right on the curb like a lemonade stand. I just gave you the benediction, let the whole church say amen.